Hey guys, HerbQuest here. Figured I'd make a video on some recent changes that they made to the hunter mechanics, delving into the finer details of the tick manipulation that comes with hunting chins. This type of tick manipulation applies for all types of chins, gray, red, and black, though I will be demonstrating these on black chins since that is what I'm catching currently and what I'm going for. But starting off, I was looking for when they actually changed the updates, and I was going back through the update log and I was scrolling around and looking for when they made that change to Hunter, and I couldn't actually find it, but what the change is it looks like these two pictures right here. I don't have any pictures of what they look like before offhand, but there's a couple new options added here, and this video is going to explain how to interact with those when hunting. So the first thing that you'll encounter that's new is when you right click a box trap that has been triggered but doesn't have a chin in it. The first option will be reset and the second option will be dismantle. The reset option is new. It used to be just a left click dismantle option. Then secondly, you'll notice that the same reset option exists on the shaking box, the sprung trap, but only this option is not the primary left click option, but rather the second option in the right click drop down menu. Now basically what this reset option does, which I'll demonstrate in a moment, basically what this reset option does, which I'll demonstrate in a moment, is that it picks up the trap and then resets the trap automatically with a 1 tick delay, and there is no tick manipulation on setting the trap back up, although you can manually input that with your own tar and Marintal. Real quick though, going back to that update list, the only thing that I could find for hunter changes within the past couple of months was this line right here, which just seems to indicate that at one point there was a glitch with that reset option, as if a falling trap would interrupt that whole process. So it seems that this change was made some time ago, since before the last time I actually actively trained hunter and did some God Wars. So I figured, since I didn't realize that they made this change, and it kind of messed me up a little bit at first, I figured I'd share my experience and how I learned to work with these changed mechanics, because these options do in fact make the traps act differently as you interact with these options. So here's your heads up for that, and some demonstration with some footage that I gathered. So starting off with the demonstration, traps set up just like they normally do. You click one to lay it down and it takes a few ticks to lay up. But if you use a tar on an herb with a pestle and mortar in your inventory, then it tick manipulates and you set it up a little bit faster than default. And of course, if you set one up and then you move to another square right away and click another trap, then it sets up at the same speed as if you picked the tar. Now let's put this into practice over at the chins with the new options. That was the same as before, just a quick rundown of the basics. So what I like to do to start up is, after I kill the first chin and place them, I tick manipulate the first trap and then subsequently tick manipulate all the others without the tar, just by moving. As soon as I see the text disappear, which indicates that the trap is set up, OS Buddy really helps for that, and then I kill the chin again once all the traps are set up. And that is the same basic start as before. What I like to do is stand under the trap before I collect it, because that makes it so that you don't have to wait a tick to walk to under the trap when you go to set it up, because you're already standing there after you've dismantled it. But that is actually the same as before as well, so time to get into the new stuff. So starting here with a simple right click on the trap, I'm going to hit reset first, and just like over in Edgeville, you can set it up like normal, and then I'm going to hit reset on this one, and you can also tick manipulate it. Now at the end I'll show you what happens if you mess up, because it is actually timed now. because if you wait too long to use your herb on the tar, then the other trap will actually be placed on the ground and disappear from your inventory, and that makes it so that you don't have anything to click on after using your herb on your tar, in which case you'd have to quickly realize this and then click the ground or some other action to prevent from making the herbal tar. I made the tar a bunch of times. Now the other thing is with the box traps on the ground. A lot of you will be used to and may even instinctively right-click that trap and hit the second option. However, that will mess you up, and for the longest time I couldn't figure out what was going on here. Now take a look here. It says lay, then take. The options have been reversed, so you can left-click to place those. It was almost annoying at first because I couldn't figure out why I wasn't laying the traps and they'd go directly into my inventory, but what it is those options are reversed. So you'll just basically have to get over your urge to right click the fallen traps and just simply left click them to set them up as normal. It is a little more convenient, saves you a click, but if you've gotten 9900 before they made this change like I have, then it might be a little bit of something to get used to. Now moving along here, I'm going to show you the most common way to now accidentally make your tar. So there's three types of traps, well four if you count the type that's idle in your inventory. But there's a triggered trap, the shaking one, there's the sprung but not shaking, and then there is the one on the ground. The one that's going to screw you up is the one that's triggered but not shaking. And that's because the reset option is the left click option as opposed to dismantle. One thing I like to do for those traps actually is right click, walk here like I do for the sprung ones, and then right click it again and hit dismantle as the second option, just to make sure in case of lag or something that I don't accidentally make my tar, because it's really just as fast as right clicking for the trap that's on the ground to lay that, but only that's left click now, so time wise it's like there's no change. Well, time wise it's the same, but it's click input wise there's no change because you have to right click something different now. So before you were right clicking a fallen trap to hit lay, whereas now you can do that with a left click, and now you're right clicking the triggered but not sprung trap to hit dismantle after you walk under it, which looks just like this. So walk here, right click, dismantle. And it is an extra click, but it guarantees to save your tar. So I think it's worth it. So finally, I'll show you what it looks like to screw up while doing this. So what happens here is I left click reset one of the traps that have the left click reset option on it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait a second after collecting the trap. So the trap collects, it's in my inventory, and then if I wait or there's lag or something, then instantly it disappears, and then if I use the herb on the tar too late, then there's no trap to click on and you might not see it within that 1 tick time frame, and then boom, you've just made your tar, and there is the end of the trip too early for you. Now, one last thing I wanted to talk about is some people will find that they end up laying 2 traps at once when they don't want to. Now, here's what causes that. It's when you hit the reset option, typically the left click one on the sprung trap with nothing in it, and when you have more than 1 trap in your inventory. And that's about to be demonstrated like so. So there's 2 traps, and I go to tick manipulate the 1 trap after the reset option's been hit, and that causes that trap to drop, but then the second trap just drops to the ground. This appears to be some sort of glitch, but it's something to work around. I see it as a mechanic, but let's watch that again, shall we? The process starts here with clicking reset, and then you move over top of the trap, and if you tick manipulate the next trap, that will go to the ground instantly, but that other trap is still in the reset cycle. So what will happen is that that trap will fall to the ground as a trap to be set up, and the one that you just tick manipulated to the ground stays on the ground and is unable to be set up because there is now already a trap there. So you'll definitely want to right click and dismantle the trap as shown before in slow-mo whenever you have more than one trap in your inventory, because I know some people like to pick up more than one trap at once. However, if you're picking up resetting trap by trap, that shouldn't be an issue. And that's also one way to avoid that issue, is to reset up each time you collect one, which kind of encourages you to use tar to tick manipulate instead of gathering traps and doing it that way. So just as a quick little recap, everything works as normal for the most part except for these two different options, with the reset option and with the traps on the ground, their little overlay, how they say lay trap before take trap. It's reversed. And also I got to share my little tip with the walk under to save a tick of time walking under the trap before you grab it. Actually, I think if you use the herb on the tar before you move, it works the same way. I just prefer to move over the trap before I check it. So then that way I don't risk accidentally making the tar, because usually when you have too many actions stacked up after or before making the tar, then it can cause you to have that moment of distraction and that'll screw you up. But yeah, I hope this helped. This video is mostly aimed at those of you who knew how to tick manipulate Hunter, came back to it, and maybe saw that it was a little screwed up, and here's why. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed, hope that was informative. If you're new to tick manipulation in Hunter in general, this probably isn't the video for you. You'd want to check out Autumn Elegy's video, Hunter Guide. His is a lot better than mine, goes into full detail about everything. I'm just going over two minor changes that were made to the skill and the process of it. And if you want to learn more about tick manipulation in general, I suggest looking through Autumn Elegy's videos, because that's where I learned most of my stuff, between his videos, Vestfold's videos, and a couple other Hexus members that like to share some of their secrets, which is cool. I appreciate them doing so, and respect where respect is due. Go check out their channels if you haven't before. I just figured since no one really made a video on this particular mechanic, I'd go ahead and throw my 2 cents in on it and explain how to navigate around the new Hunter changes. Alright, that wraps it up. Peace, guys. I'll see you soon with some Iron Man progress. Getting ready to throw all these chins I've been gathering at the Saradomin boss. Maybe get that Armadillo crossbow that I've been looking for quite some time now. Alright, I wish y'all good gains. Peace. Alright, I wish y'all good gains. Peace.